to fold your fabric into two, add 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches to your hip measurement. Like my hip measurement now is 39 inches. When I divide it by 4, whatever I have, I think I'll be having about 9.75 or so. I'm going to be adding extra 3 to 4 inches to it. Okay, that is what I folded. Okay, so after that, you go ahead and mark the full length of your gown. For this, I'm working with 39 inches for my full length. Yeah, so at this point now, I'm cutting out the back piece first. I'm going to use it to cut out the front. Go ahead and insert your shoulder measurement. This is mine. From that point, I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, 3 inches for my neck width. Yeah, then I'm connected to the. So now you're going to be connecting from your neck width to your shoulder slope, which is 1 inch shoulder slope. Yeah, so now the next thing to do is from this shoulder slope, you're going to get your armhole depth. To do that, what you have to do is divide your bust measurement by 6, add 1.5 inches to whatever you have. Okay, so mine is 7.5. So from this point now, I have 7.5 inches. Okay, so guys, the next thing to do now is you're going to divide what you have at that armhole into 2. So I have 3.75 inches, which falls here. Okay, then I'm going to place it, my tape measurement, to get my shoulder measurements again. From that point, I'll come in by 1/2 inch. So this is the 1/2 inch. I'll connect it to the shoulder slope, which is here. Then from here, I'll make a curve into my armhole, okay, into the chest line. So this is it. We have gone ahead to create our armhole measurements. All right, so the next thing to do now is to work on the waist and the hip parts. So the next step is place your tape back at your start point line. Go ahead and mark 16 inches. This is where your waist measurement is going to be. At 24 inches, where your hip measurement, your round hip measurement is going to be. Okay, so now at the chest line, which is here, I'm going to go ahead and mark my bust measurement. I have 9 inches. Go ahead and add your seam allowance. So for the bust, I'm using just 2 inches for my seam allowance. Then on my waist, I have 7.25 inches for my waist measurements. Then I'm going ahead to add 3 inches to it. Okay, the waist is going to be a little bit free, but not that free because of the belt. All right, but our bust side is going to be fitted, but the waist is going to be a little free, but not free. Then on your hip, go ahead and insert your hip measurements plus 2 inches seam allowance. Having done this now, I'll connect the points together. So I've connected to my hip and my waist. Then from my waist, I'm connecting to my chest line, which is in the bust. Now from the hip, I'm going to be making an A line to the bottom of my dress. The A line is not that pronounced, it's a little bit blunt. Okay, it's not that pronounced. So this is what we have. Now we're going to go ahead and cut this out. Having done this now, we use this to cut out our front piece. So guys, now the next thing to cut out is our front piece. Okay, this is our back piece and this is our folded fabric for our front piece. All right, so before placing my front piece, I left about 2.5 inches. Okay, you can decide to use more, maybe about 3 inches to 4 inches is okay. All right, so this is for our button allowance. Now the next thing to do is to cut out this piece. Then I'm going to slit the center open. Yeah. So for our back piece neck depth, we're going to be working with 2 inches. Okay. Remember our front neck width. Our neck width we are working with both for the front and the back is 3 inches. Okay. So now we're going to connect them. So this is for our back. We'll keep this aside. Then this is for our front. Sorry, I have to notch where it is. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to notch here. So guys, now we're going to go ahead and make a fold for our button allowance. Okay, so this is what we're going to have. So go ahead, iron it down, run a stitch on it to keep it in place. Okay, so the next step now is the sleeve. Okay, so from here I'm going to be marking about 30 inches long, because the sleeve is long actually, and it has an elastic. It will still be long. Okay, so I'm going to work with about 30 inches long, or 31 inches. I marked 30.5 inches actually. So this is what we're going to do now. Okay, starting from this start point line, we're going to come down to 4 inches. This is our cap height. All right, then here we're going to insert our bust measurements plus seam allowance. Now we're going to connect it to this point. Okay, so this is what we have. Now the next thing to do is to open up the side. Okay, because of the elastic, I'm not shaping the sleeve. It's not going to be like a fitted sleeve. So this is what you have to do. Fold or hem the bottom of your sleeve. Okay, then we're going to be coming up from this sleeve point now. This, after folding it, we're going to be coming up by at least by 6 to 7 inches or 5 inches. Then we're going to insert an elastic here. All right, so that it will grip like this in this form. So at this point now, I'm gonna head to fold my button allowance, and this is what I have. So my button, this is my button allowance. Okay, so we're going to be trimming out the neck piece. So please note that our neck is 2.75 inches. That is the width of our neck, the one we use for our back. Then our front will be the same thing. Then the depth for our front is going to be 3 inches. And this is my 3 inches. So I'm going to connect them together. Having done this now, I'll go ahead and cut this out. So guys, this is what I have. Now I'm going to be joining my front shoulder and my back shoulder together. So introduce your back piece. So this is my back piece. All right, place it right side facing each other. Go ahead and join the shoulders together, your front shoulder to your back shoulder. Okay, so we'll do that quickly now. So guys, this is for our sleeve. I'm gonna head to hem the bottom part of it. All right, so the next thing we're going to be marking is where we're going to be having our elastic. All right, so I'm going to be marking 6 inches upwards from the hem of my sleeve. So this is where my 6 inches lies. Okay, so now we're going to be introducing your elastic band. This is my elastic band. So I'm going to measure about 7 to 8 inches long. So now I'm going to run a stitch on this, okay, to grip this together. That's what I'm going to go ahead to do now. All right, so let's do that quickly. So now at this point now, I've gone ahead to join my shoulder. Then for my sleeve, I've also attached my elastic at this area. Okay, so now I'm going to be joining my sleeve to my dress. Okay, so go ahead and join it. The tip of your shoulder, that's the center point here for your sleeve, and the center of your shoulder here. Go ahead and run a stitch on it. Yeah. So guys, at this point now, I've gone ahead to join my sleeve to my shoulder area, to my armhole area, okay? So next thing to do now is we're going to go ahead and shape our dress. Okay, please note the seam allowance you use, that is what you're going to also use for your shaping, okay? So before then, we're going to be having a belt holder at the waist area. So this is my belt holder, this is what I have. Let's say about 1.5 inches width, then 5 or 4 inches long. All right, so I'm going to be placing this on my waist area. I'm going to go ahead and mark where my waist is. So my waist is at 16 to 17 inches or so. So I'm going to be placing this at that waist area. So if I'm shaping it, I'm going to be mindful of my belt holder. Okay, so bring your dress, measure what you have round your neck area. So I have 20 inches and I'm going to be adding extra 1 inch to it. So this is what I have. It's on a straight form. Okay, we're going to be having the base and the main collar, the base of the collar and the upper part of the collar. So this is going to be the base of the collar. The base of the collar is going to be 4 inches. Okay, I have 4.5 here, but it should be 4 inches. Okay, then the upper part of the collar should be 5 inches. Okay, so we have 4 inches and 5 inches. So now what next do you do? This is the base of your collar, right? You fold it in this way. Please make sure that is your neck measurement, that is what you have around your neck. Like I have 20 inches plus 1, I have 21 inches long. Okay, so I'm going to fold it in this way. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold it into 2 again. I folded it in this way, then fold this way, and this is what we have. All right, so now the next thing to do is we're going to be making an any shape, any letter N shape, small letter N. That is from this tip here, we're going to be making an N shape towards this area. Okay, and this is what we have. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut this out. So this is what it looks like when you cut it out. Having done this now, the next thing to do is to slit this open. So guys, this is what we have for the base of our collar. Then we're going to be working on the cap of the collar, that is the upper part of the collar. All right, so we're also going to open it up this way. This is our 5 inches. Fold it this way. Okay, this is the first fold. Okay, having done this now, you go ahead and fold it in this way again, and this is what we have. Okay, so now the first one we did it as an N shape, but this one we're going to be making a slant. So starting from the tip here, you're going to be making a slant to about 2 inches or 1.5 inches. 2 to 1.5 inches is okay. Okay, so I'm going to be working with 2 inches. So from here I'm going to be making a slit towards this area, and this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and cut this off. Okay, so this is what the base of our collar looks like. If you have an interfacing, a gum stay, collar stay, whatever, go ahead and attach it to it. Okay, so for this now, I'm not attaching any gum stay or collar stay to it. All right, so now what next should I do? I'm going to run a stitch here, close this area up. That's this opening I have here. I'm going to close it up, close up this side, then turn this out. So guys, now I'm done with the stitching. This is what I have. Okay, now we're going to be joining this to the base. So now first thing first is you're going to be placing it right side facing each other. So this is one of it. So the cap of our collar is going to be on top. It's going to be in the middle of these two bases. Okay, so how do you do it? Notch the center of your cap, notch the center of your base. Go ahead and place it center to center with the cap in between the two bases. Okay, and this is what I have. So now we're going to go ahead and run a stitch on it. Starting from this point now, you run a stitch till you get to this other point. All right. So guys, the next thing we're going to be doing now is we're going to be attaching this our collar, this collar bars, to our shirt dress. Okay. So first thing first I went to do was to fold in a little bit of it on each side, iron it down together just like you're saying now. Okay. So that it will be very easy for me to attach it here. So what I'm going to do is just place my shirt dress in between my collar, go ahead and top stitch on it round. Okay, that's what I'm going to go ahead to do now.